Yes, sir.
Would you support a federal ban on abortions?
I would simply say that the fact of the matter is when you look at the issue of abortion, one of the challenges that we continue to go to the most restrictive conversations without broadening the scope and taking a look at the fact that I'm 100% pro-life. I never walk away from that. But the truth of the matter is that when you look at the issues on abortion, I start with a very important conversation I had in a banking hearing.
Okay, so that's Tim Scott. I want you to bear in mind as we analyze the answer that you just saw there to a very simple question, that Tim Scott launched an exploratory committee for the 2024 Republican presidential bid just 2 days ago. He's running for president. Okay, so that answer was from a guy who was running for president. He was asked, do you support a federal ban on abortion? And he said, I'm gonna answer very simply by talking about in a conversation I had about a banking thing. He also said, okay, so the issue is that we go to like the most radical positions, and I guess that's bad. Also, I'm 100% pro-life, which I think would be the most radical position. But you'll notice he didn't go from I'm 100% pro-life to yes, I will support a federal ban on abortion. He doesn't actually want to say what his position is. Interestingly, this has become a bit of a pattern. In a separate clip posted online by CBS News on Wednesday, he was asked if he would support banning abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, per a proposal by Lindsey Graham. He said, I would say this, I am certainly 100% pro-life without any question. I do think we spend not enough time understanding how far the far left has gone on the issue of abortion. So I'm gonna answer very simply by, again, not answering. And here's the thing, you might think, well, maybe he just doesn't wanna be specific. But that's actually not the case, because when he was asked about a 20-week ban, he said 20-week ban, definitely. So I think we know what his official position is. He's not going to publicly support a total ban. He's not going to support a 15-week ban, but a 20-week ban, definitely. And I also want to leave you with this. Don't be reassured that that means that if he somehow became president, which is literally never going to happen, that then they wouldn't do it. A guy who will not come out and say that he's in support of it is not necessarily a guy who's gonna stop it from being signed into law. He just understands better than some Republicans that taking those positions publicly is incredibly unpopular right now. Right, what do you think?
I'll tell you what else is unpopular in the Republican Party. Answers that sound like that. It has become a vibe check party.
Yeah, it has.
They're not mad at him for what position he ends up taking. They're mad at politicians for talking like that and assuming that the voters don't notice exactly what they're doing. Exploratory committee itself is stupid, because what he's exploring is whether there is a combination of words that, if repeated ad nauseum, will result in people not paying attention. That's his goal. He just wants to focus on anything else. And this is important, guys and gals and everyone. The reason that trans issues have become so front and center for the Republican Party, and that critical race theory has become so front and center for the Republican Party, is they need something to replace that wedge issue of abortion. Because A, they caught the car that they were chasing, and B, now that the policy of Roe versus Wade has changed, abortion is a losing issue for them. So they need an issue that Republicans who have no actual skin in the game whatsoever can look down on other people from a position of presumed moral superiority, because they're killing the kids or transing the kids or screwing up the kids in ways that we as parents need to protect the innocent from. And then behind the scenes, the Republicans go off and pass their, they'll throw a bone to you based on whatever frenzy they whipped you up into. And then they'll go and pass their actual agenda, which is tax cuts for the rich, for their government handouts for their donors, and basically deregulation in industry that results in poisoning and actual spontaneous abortion, as it's called, when you lose a pregnancy because of the pollution that their deregulation caused in your area.
Yeah, they need to construct at all times. I think you're 100% right. They have to put together a construct that lets them appear to be telling it like it is, while all the time not actually saying what they mean. Like they came up with wokeness and the trans stuff so that they could attack the LGBTQ community. And in that area, I think that they're actually feeling emboldened enough that they can literally just say we should eradicate the community. They talk about CRT because they want to be able to just come out and say there should not be black people. You should not have a black person in a movie. You shouldn't have a black person in a political campaign. Corporations should not have them in advertisements. When I see them in a commercial, it makes me vomit. They know that they can't say that, so they get to speak very strongly and directly about CRT. They're weaseling out of their actual bigoted positions to some extent, but they need to be able to come out and say it. And on abortion, they just don't feel comfortable anymore. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.